Hey, and welcome to National Sounds of Gospel TV show. Hey, you guys, I am so excited that you are here. I'm so excited about who we are talking to today. You guys, are y'all ready to sit back and have a conversation? I always tell you guys, go grab a drink, go and get you a snack. We're getting ready to get started. I have my glasses on. I think I'm going to take them off. But so today we are going to be talking to a mighty man of God, a storyteller that loves to embrace and experiment with different types of genres of music in order to please his first love. You guys, we're going to be talking to none other than award-nominated National Gospel Recording Artist, Bourn'gan. So sit back, relax, let's get ready to have a conversation. As I always say, let's get it, let's go. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to National Sounds of Gospel TV and video show. I am your host, Tamika J. I know it says Tamika Vickers down there, but I'm remarried. So I'm Tamika J. But I'm so excited because we have, you guys see right here on the other side of the screen, we have award-nominated National Gospel Recording Artist Bourn'gan is in the house. And we are about to have a conversation. Now, I told y'all, go get your drink, go get your snack. We're getting ready to sit back. I don't want you guys to miss this conversation we're about to have because, see, God is about to move. And you don't want to miss this seed that Bourn'gan is about to lay inside of our spirits. So, Bourne, welcome to National Sounds of Gospel. We're so happy to have you here. And if you would please, let me just go ahead and ask you, tell us about the name Bourn'gan.
Well, obviously, I think you can see it's a play on the term born again.
Yes.
But if you were to look up born as a noun in the dictionary, it is a river or stream that flows seasonally. And so I am flowing within my gifts in this season again.
Come on now.
I went through a stage where I was still writing music. I wasn't doing much performing. I wasn't releasing any music. I was just being a dad. I was being a mentor. I was being an educator. I was still active in the church, but that side of my life had pretty much ceased. You know, I wasn't doing much. And I had a conversation with the Lord. Hey, you're still giving me songs. You're still giving me things. You know, where am I going?
Right.
Just like Saul became Paul.
Don't even go there. That was our Bible study last night. Come on,
man.
God is in the house. This is what I'm talking about.
He told me, he said, it's time. He said, it's time to begin flowing within your gifts again. And, you know, if it's your heart's desire, let's do this. And that's where I've been for the past 3 years.
You are seriously walking in your purpose.
Yes. Seeking to reach that and do everything he has planned for me. You know, I've raised my sons. My wife keeps telling me I need to cut the gray down some to go with the youthful look, but I kind of like the gray. I don't know. I don't hide it.
I'm hiding mine. But yeah, you
see, I have grown children.
Okay.
I have grown children.
Come on now.
And tomorrow will actually be my wife and I's 28th anniversary.
Congratulations.
So
what's her name?
It's a blessing.
What's her name?
My wife is Tammy.
Tammy?
Yes,
congratulations, Tammy. Girl, kudos.
Yeah, she must be out of her mind staying with me that long. Good Lord Jesus.
But you know, it's nobody but the Lord. It is nobody but God. And when you can make it through the tough times, when you can pray through it and praise, no matter how rough it gets.
Yes.
When you can make it through it by the leading of God, it's all worth it. And even though that time may seem like it may seem slow, it's really fast because before you know it, you're going to be at 50 years.
Yeah. Oh, it's went past fast.
Okay.
I had the honor of marrying my best friend. You know, she's the first and only woman that, you know, we finished our first date in prayer. You You know, we if I can be real on here,
Be
we know
real.
how
Come
things
on
go
now.
sometimes,
Come
because
on
you
now.
know she was fine as wine to me, and you
Okay.
know I could think of a whole lot of things I wanted to do with her. Praying wasn't the number one thing, but God said different. You know, there was something refreshing about her the moment I met her, in so much that um, once I met her, I started telling other girls that were calling me, you know, I'm good. And I
Mm-hmm.
had never even went out on a date with her. There was just something that refreshing about her, that I knew the moment I met her, she was my wife.
Wow.
Mhm.
That is amazing. And
Yeah.
28 years later,
It's
you
really
guys
30. Hey,
30.
we did some courting. We
Okay.
did some courting.
Come on. Hey, it does not hurt to court for a couple of
Man.
years before you walk down that aisle.
Yes, ma'am.
But you know when it's the Lord. And you know when he puts things together, especially when he makes a union.
Yes.
She can't see past you and you can't see past her.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Song for Love, this one of my singles.
Mm.
It was written for her. That was actually to celebrate our 25th anniversary. And
Wow.
COVID kind of kept that from
Yeah.
happening the way I wanted. And so I didn't really actually present it to her until our 26th anniversary. But yeah, and it's the truth, you know. She put up with my silliness, you know. She allowed me to continue to mature, and you know, in some ways I guess she knew as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, here we
Yeah.
go.
She knew she knew. And that's one thing about us women is we don't have to do anything. We allow God to do it. Because even though you may not see, you know, see her praying, she's praying when you're not there. And you never know what petition is she's putting forth. But you know when the change happens in you that it brings. And that's just amazing because, you know, my husband and I, we are truly blessed to have been able to find each other within the second half of our life. And that's my best friend. That's my ride or die. That's my road dog. You know, that's my peaches to the cream. And it's just like we pray together, we love on one another, we do ministry together, and it's just so fulfilling. We laugh and we can be just as goofy as ever. My sister said, "Oh my goodness, you found your twin," because I love to sing. So, and he loves to sing. And so when we get together, we're harmonizing. We're just,
What's
riding in
up?
the car. We just sing out of nowhere.
That's
But
what's up.
it's what God has placed together. You know that union was placed by God.
Yes.
You
Yes.
you can just be you
Yes.
in the spirit all the time.
No filters.
No filters. Hey, hashtag. Look, we're gonna hashtag that on our Facebook pages.
That's it.
No
That's
filters.
it.
God did it. Hello.
God did it. God did it. Hey, I mean, if we start being real about all of it, I mean, for real, the
Mhm.
walk has no filters.
That's
You
right.
know, I was kind of laughing, and I don't mean to kind of take over the conversation, but
No, I
I
told
was
you, have your way.
I was laughing at in articles because we know we had this big movement to remove books from libraries and all those different things. And I saw an article where I think it might have been Utah banned the
Mhm.
Bible from the libraries. Oh, you didn't realize that? Yes, yes. But see, because of how sexually explicit it is,
Right.
you know, people don't understand the right reality in the word, and
Mhm.
that's something that has been on my heart for many years. You know, my father used to talk to me and have these kinds of conversations where it's like, you know, we have allowed the world to mystify our walk.
Mhm.
And so whenever you say that you have faith and you're a man of God or you're a Christian, and you're walking, you know, it's like, ooh, you perfect, or you're, but it's just the opposite.
Right.
You know, we are being perfected. You know, we are a work every day. You know, Paul talked about it. You know, he had
Mhm.
to crucify that flesh daily in this walk. And
Daily.
so if we look at the word in its reality, oh man, Song of Solomon was woo, Song of Songs. Oh, sister girl was laying, she was laying it out there. Where is my man?
Very,
Right.
very explicit. Yeah.
And so I think that, in some ways, if we can find our way to make sure the world understands that, God is not down here acting as if you're not human. He in fact, he came and he was tempted in all points. That's my favorite Bible verse, for we do not have a high priest that cannot sympathize, okay, sympathize with our weaknesses. Why? Because he came down here and he experienced it all. He
Yes,
was
he
tempted
did.
in all manner of ways, but without sin.
Come on.
And we can do it. We can do it, but we got to be willing to crucify that flesh daily and walk and walk his way.
Right?
He wouldn't have had to come if we could do it on our own.
That's true.
But I think that he's good on perfecting us. So I don't know where I just went with all that conversation, but it was on my
But
heart.
because it's needed, and
Yeah.
God led you that way, and it's so needed because you're right. One, we live in a sinful world,
Mm-hmm.
but we were blessed to be able to be awake. We
Yes.
move in the spirit. We don't move within the flesh or within the carnal. Whereas there's so many people that are walking in darkness because they haven't been awake yet.
Yes.
So anything that has to do with porn and the way they try to make it seem all lovely and unmarital sex, everything. God is trying to bring his children back into the fold, and it's getting worse. And so we have to move within the spirit. So when you're sitting here and you're talking about it, this somebody is going to hear this, and this is going to be a seed to where they're going to be like, "Whoa, wait a minute!"
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
now that seed has hit them, and it could be about their life and what they're going through, but they don't know how to get around it, how to come out of it. Because it's a stronghold.
Yes. Yes.
It's nothing but a demonic stronghold. So please do not listen, y'all. He better not be apologizing. Because when God says something, we have to speak the word. We have to speak what God is placing on our hearts, because there is someone out there that is needing to hear this. Yes. And best believe when you hear it, allow it to penetrate your soul, allow it to penetrate your spirit, and allow God to come in.
Yes.
Now, back to you.
I look around and being my day job, I'm an educator, and so I'm of course in the building, and I'm watching our youth, and my heart goes out to them, obviously,
Yeah.
because they have so many things that are thrown their way at too young of an age, with the internet and social media, all those different things being available to them at a very young age. The pressures that they're experiencing truly are, in my opinion, more than what I experienced when I was younger. I try to acknowledge that with them, and it's a scary place to be. And I think that we understand the enemy. He was the prince of the air. Right. And so, he understands how to use those things and cloud the minds of not only us, but especially our youth.
Yes.
So
he's going after our youth.
Yeah.
He's not only going after our youth, he's going after our children. Like, I'm a mother of a grown daughter. I have 3 grandchildren. Yeah. And they're starting early. Yeah. Even in the schools, they're starting early with elementary school children, trying to cloud their mind and their way of thinking, to where that is putting more work. You have to do the work at home and send those, and when those kids go to school, pray that they remember the foundation that's being taught. Talk to them, because I can honestly say you and I have to be around the same age. And I remember being, as a kid, growing up in the 80s, and, teenager getting ready to go to graduate in the 90s. I remember as a kid, there was so many things that were, it either had explicit on it, so you knew you couldn't. It had a code on it, so you knew you couldn't, but now there's no code, there's no warning, there's nothing. I mean, the stuff that's on YouTube, you don't even want your kids to watch because it's completely open to, hey, we're living in a simple world. Why don't you come and join? No.
Right. Well, there's a big lie out there that's happening with our youth, that they're telling them that what they feel is real. And coming from our generation, we were still taught that, which is the truth, that, our feelings are fleeting. They will fool us. They'll trick us. We have emotions for a reason. God built us that way, but we do have to understand that our emotions can lie to us. Right. And so, they react in their feelings and their emotions much more than we do, which makes it even more of an unhealthy situation in my mind, because they are, receiving so many different messages from different ways. Right. And that's where the processing problem is coming into play. And it's amazing to me to see how good of a job the enemy's doing. And at the same time, while he's giving them these messages that, okay, if you feel it, it's okay, even if it's not accurate, we understand there's some things going on where, you can, I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't say it on here being an educator, but you can be born something, but, decide that you're something else. And even though, we understand the equipment you were born with is who you are, we understand that physically that's who you are. You can say, oh, well, I feel like I'm that. Right. And the world is telling them that's okay. And at the same time, they're using that message to criminalize or criminalize the church. Right. Hey, your feelings are what matters. That's how you feel, then it's real. That's how you feel. And anyone tells you anything different, they're wrong. But it's kind of a battle that we're fighting, which is why I'm talking about how we got to pull that veil down. Exactly. We got to pull that veil down, and we've got to be real. Not only about what's in the word, but how the word affects us. Right. So you're right. I mean, you think about it. What year was that? That was it was in the 90s. I know it was after I graduated. I graduated high school in 93. And I want to say it was about 94, 95 when they took prayer out of schools. Yeah. And when they took the prayer, because I don't know if you remember, did you guys ever have a group of kids that prayed around the pole? Yes. Okay. So when they took that away, then it just seemed like everything else was able to come in. Yeah. As soon as they took that away, everything else was able to come in, because it was an attack on us young people. Yeah. Even then. Yes. And now it's worse. And you're right. And this is I'm not going to tell you again. This is your platform. You better educate, because yes, ma'am. This is education. This is ministry. Yes, ma'am. And no matter how tough it may seem for people, we have to say what thus said the Lord. Yes. Okay. So speak, man. Yes, ma'am. I'm trying not to mess up my day job, because they fire folks for having an opinion now. Such an artist right here, you guys. I don't want to lose my home, y'all. I'm enjoying doing the music, but y'all haven't bought it enough to make me wealthy. Okay. So I need my gig. Bye. Get it right here. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. But yeah, we it's amazing. I don't know, my sons, I'm really so proud of them. I only have my oldest that has children. The other two haven't blessed us that way yet. Okay. They're so career driven. They and their wives are just, I don't know, they may be 40 before they have us any grandkids. You're looking at them like, if y'all don't come on,
Like, where are the
but
grandbabies?
they listened, and I'm really proud of them. But even when I look at uh, my sons, and I look at, the influence, of course, that I had in their lives versus what they've seen, I could see a deterioration, deterioration between, of course, my generation and theirs, and they were raised in my home with me. And I was always speaking about the Lord. We did family Bible study outside of going into church for Bible study, because I wanted those reality and real moments to be able to be set forth. I wanted to make sure they understood that mom and dad weren't even innocent.
Right.
I never hid the fact from them, or attempted to hide the fact from them. They're too smart for it anyway, that my first two children were out of wedlock. I needed them to understand that, I am, not perfect. I have issues that I've dealt with in my life, and learning how to deal with those issues is important as a man, because one day they were going to have their own home. And I'm really proud of them, because they've done well. But at the same time, I look, and, it's easy to not go to church. It's easy to, some of those different things that I'm always talking to them about, hey, man, get up and go, Then I turned around and I looked, and COVID hit. Well, COVID made me lazy. It made it easier for me
I think
to
it made
not.
all of us.
Oh my gosh. I started thinking to myself, it's Sunday, I gotta get up and go. I want to turn on Ron Carpenter and
Look,
just listen to.
it felt like Big Brother.
Yes.
You
Yes.
were stuck in the house. You can only go outside in the backyard.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you went outside, you had to make a mask. That was funny. Make
Right.
a mask, go to the store, come right back, and lock yourself back in the house, because you just didn't know where it was gonna come from. But
Right.
it did. I think it made all of us lazy. But you know what? During that time, I think it brought me closer to God. And it just seemed like when everybody else, you can see the difference between the ones who were walking in faith and the ones who weren't. You can see the fear on the ones that weren't, because they didn't know where their next check was going to come from. They didn't know. There was so many factors that you can see them walking in fear. You hear it on the news, all this stuff. I mean, big heads of these major multi-billion-dollar companies are leaving, and nobody know where they're going. They just stepping down and going, and but for me, I was just like, oh, well, to God be the glory. I'm like, I felt God, I felt the hand of God, I felt the move of the Lord. I spent